Ones table. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 6 is 6. 1 times 7 is 7. 1 times 8 is 8. 1 times 9 is 9. And 1 times 10 is 10. Twos table. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 6 is 12. 2 times 7 is 14. 2 times 8 is 16. 2 times 9 is 18. And 2 times 10 is 20. Threes table. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 6 is 18. 3 times 7 is 21. 3 times 8 is 24. 3 times 9 is 27. And 3 times 10 is 30. Fours table. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 6 is 24. 4 times 7 is 28. 4 times 8 is 32. 4 times 9 is 36. And 4 times 10 is 40. Fives table. 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 3 is 15. 5 times 4 is 20. 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 6 is 30. 5 times 7 is 35. 5 times 8 is 40. 5 times 9 is 45. And 5 times 10 is 50. Six table. 6 times 1 is 6. 6 times 2 is 12. 6 times 3 is 18. 6 times 4 is 24. 6 times 5 is 30. 6 times 6 is 36. 6 times 7 is 42. 6 times 8 is 48. 6 times 9 is 54. And 6 times 10 is 60. Sevens table. 7 times 1 is 7. 7 times 2 is 14. 7 times 3 is 21. 7 times 4 is 28. 7 times 5 is 35. 7 times 6 is 42. 7 times 7 is 49. 7 times 8 is 56. 7 times 9 is 63. And 7 times 10 is 70. Eights table. 8 times 1 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. 8 times 3 is 24. 8 times 4 is 32. 8 times 5 is 40. 8 times 6 is 48. 8 times 7 is 56. 8 times 8 is 64. 8 times 9 is 72. And 8 times 10 is 80. Nines table. 9 times 1 is 9. 9 times 2 is 18. 9 times 3 is 27. 9 times 4 is 36. 9 times 5 is 45. 9 times 6 is 54. 9 times 7 is 63. 9 times 8 is 72. 9 times 9 is 81. And 9 times 10 is 90. Tens table. 10 times 1 is 10. 10 times 2 is 20. 10 times 3 is 30. 10 times 4 is 40. 10 times 5 is 50. 10 times 6 is 60. 10 times 7 is 70. 10 times 8 is 80. 10 times 9 is 90. And 10 times 10 is 100. 11's table. 11 times 1 is 11. 11 times 2 is 22. 11 times 3 is 33. 11 times 4 is 44. 11 times 5 is 55. 11 times 6 is 66. 11 times 7 is 77. 11 times 8 is 88. 11 times 9 is 99. And 11 times 10 is 110. 12's table. 12 times 1 is 12. 12 times 2 is 24. 12 times 3 is 36. 12 times 4 is 48. 12 times 5 is 60. 12 times 6 is 72. 12 times 7 is 84. 12 times 8 is 96. 12 times 9 is 108. And 12 times 10 is 120. 13's table. 13 times 1 is 13. 13 times 2 is 26. 13 times 3 is 39. 13 times 4 is 52. 13 times 5 is 65. 13 times 6 is 78. 13 times 7 is 91. 13 times 8 is 104. 13 times 9 is 117. And 13 times 10 is 130. 14's table. 14 times 1 is 14. 14 times 2 is 28. 14 times 3 is 42. 14 times 4 is 56. 14 times 5 is 70. 14 times 6 is 84. 14 times 7 is 98. 14 times 8 is 112. 14 times 9 is 126. And 14 times 10 is 140. 15's table. 15 times 1 is 15. 15 times 2 is 30. 15 times 3 is 45. 15 times 4 is 60. 15 times 5 is 75. 15 times 6 is 90. 15 times 7 is 105. 15 times 8 is 120. 15 times 9 is 135. And 15 times 10 is 150. 16's table. 16 times 1 is 16. 16 times 2 is 32. 16 times 3 is 48. 16 times 4 is 64. 16 times 5 is 80. 16 times 6 is 96. 16 times 7 is 112. 16 times 8 is 128. 16 times 9 is 144. And 16 times 10 is 160. 17's table. 17 times 1 is 17. 17 times 2 is 34. 17 times 3 is 51. 17 times 4 is 68. 17 times 5 is 85. 17 times 6 is 102. 17 times 7 is 119. 17 times 8 is 136. 17 times 9 is 153. And 17 times 10 is 170. 18's table. 18 times 1 is 18. 18 times 2 is 36. 18 times 3 is 54. 18 times 4 is 72. 18 times 5 is 90. 18 times 6 is 108. 18 times 7 is 126. 18 times 8 is 144. 18 times 9 is 162. And 18 times 10 is 180. 19's table. 19 times 1 is 19. 19 times 2 is 38. 19 times 3 is 57. 19 times 4 is 76. 19 times 5 is 95. 19 times 6 is 114. 19 times 7 is 133. 19 times 8 is 152. 19 times 9 is 171, and 19 times 10 is 190. 20s table. 20 times 1 is 20. 20 times 2 is 40. 20 times 3 is 60. 20 times 4 is 80. 20 times 5 is 100. 20 times 6 is 120. 20 times 7 is 140. 20 times 8 is 160. 20 times 9 is 180. And 20 times 10 is 200. 21's table. 21 times 1 is 21. 21 times 2 is 42. 21 times 3 is 63. 21 times 4 is 84. 21 times 5 is 105. 21 times 6 is 126. 21 times 7 is 147. 21 times 8 is 168. 21 times 9 is 189. And 21 times 10 is 210. 22's table. 22 times 1 is 22. 22 times 2 is 44. 22 times 3 is 66. 22 times 4 is 88. 22 times 5 is 110. 22 times 6 is 132. 22 times 7 is 154. 22 times 8 is 176. 22 times 9 is 198. And 22 times 10 is 220. 23's table. 23 times 1 is 23. 23 times 2 is 46. 23 times 3 is 69. 23 times 4 is 92. 23 times 5 is 115. 23 times 6 is 138. 23 times 7 is 161. 23 times 8 is 184. 23 times 9 is 207. And 23 times 10 is 230. 24's table. 24 times 1 is 24. 24 times 2 is 48. 24 times 3 is 72. 24 times 4 is 96. 24 times 5 is 120. 24 times 6 is 144. 24 times 7 is 168. 24 times 8 is 192. 24 times 9 is 216. And 24 times 10 is 240. 25's table. 25 times 1 is 25. 25 times 2 is 50. 25 times 3 is 75. 25 times 4 is 100. 25 times 5 is 125. 25 times 6 is 150. 25 times 7 is 170. 5. 25 times 8 is 200. 25 times 9 is 225. And 25 times 10 is 250. 26 table. 26 times 1 is 26. 26 times 2 is 52. 26 times 3 is 78. 26 times 4 is 104. 26 times 5 is 130. 26 times 6 is 156. 26 times 7 is 182. 26 times 8 is 208. 26 times 9 is 234. And 26 times 10 is 260. 27 table. 27 times 1 is 27. 27 times 2 is 54. 27 times 3 is 81. 27 times 4 is 108. 27 times 5 is 135. 27 times 6 is 162. 27 times 7 is 189. 27 times 8 is 216. 27 times 9 is 243. And 27 times 10 is 270. 28's table. 28 times 1 is 28. 28 times 2 is 56. 28 times 3 is 84. 28 times 4 is 112. 28 times 5 is 140. 28 times 6 is 168. 28 times 7 is 196. 28 times 8 is 224. 28 times 9 is 252. And 28 times 10 is 280. 29's table. 29 times 1 is 29. 29 times 2 is 58. 29 times 3 is 87. 29 times 4 is 116. 29 times 5 is 145. 29 times 6 is 174. 29 times 7 is 203. 29 times 8 is 232. 29 times 9 is 261. And 29 times 10 is 290. 30's table. 30 times 1 is 30. 30 times 2 is 60. 30 times 3 is 90. 30 times 4 is 120. 30 times 5 is 150. 30 times 6 is 180. 30 times 7 is 210. 30 times 8 is 240. 30 times 9 is 270. And 30 times 10 is 300. 31's table. 31 times 1 is 31. 31 times 2 is 62. 31 times 3 is 93. 31 times 4 is 124. 31 times 5 is 155. 31 times 6 is 186. 31 times 7 is 217. 31 times 8 is 248. 31 times 9 is 279. And 31 times 10 is 310. 32's table. 32 times 1 is 32. 32 times 2 is 64. 32 times 3 is 96. 32 times 4 is 128. 32 times 5 is 160. 32 times 6 is 192. 32 times 7 is 224. 32 times 8 is 256. 32 times 9 is 288. And 32 times 10 is 320. 33's table. 33 times 1 is 33. 33 times 2 is 66. 33 times 3 is 99. 33 times 4 is 132. 33 times 5 is 165. 33 times 6 is 198. 33 times 7 is 231. 33 times 8 is 264. 33 times 9 is 297. And 33 times 10 is 330. 34's table. 34 times 1 is 34. 34 times 2 is 68. 34 times 3 is 102. 34 times 4 is 136. 34 times 5 is 170. 34 times 6 is 204. 34 times 7 is 238. 34 times 8 is 272. 34 times 9 is 306. And 34 times 10 is 340. 35's table. 35 times 1 is 35. 35 times 2 is 70. 35 times 3 is 105. 35 times 4 is 140. 35 times 5 is 175. 35 times 6 is 210. 35 times 7 is 245. 35 times 8 is 280. 35 times 9 is 315. And 35 times 10 is 350. 36 table. 36 times 1 is 36. 36 times 2 is 72. 36 times 3 is 108. 36 times 4 is 144. 36 times 5 is 180. 36 times 6 is 216. 36 times 7 is 252. 36 times 8 is 288. 36 times 9 is 324. And 36 times 10 is 360. 37's table. 37 times 1 is 37. 37 times 2 is 74. 37 times 3 is 111. 37 times 4 is 148. 37 times 5 is 185. 37 times 6 is 222. 37 times 7 is 259. 37 times 8 is 296. 37 times 9 is 333. And 37 times 10 is 370. 38's table. 38 times 1 is 38. 38 times 2 is 76. 38 times 3 is 114. 38 times 4 is 152. 38 times 5 is 190. 38 times 6 is 228. 38 times 7 is 266. 38 times 8 is 304. 38 times 9 is 342. And 38 times 10 is 380. 39's table. 39 times 1 is 39. 39 times 2 is 78. 39 times 3 is 117. 39 times 4 is 156. 39 times 5 is 195. 39 times 6 is 234. 39 times 7 is 273. 39 times 8 is 312. 39 times 9 is 351. And 39 times 10 is 390. 40's table. 40 times 1 is 40. 40 times 2 is 80. 40 times 3 is 120. 40 times 4 is 160. 40 times 5 is 200. 40 times 6 is 240. 40 times 7 is 280. 40 times 8 is 320. 40 times 9 is 360. And 40 times 10 is 400. 41's table. 41 times 1 is 41. 41 times 2 is 82. 41 times 3 is 123. 41 times 4 is 164. 41 times 5 is 205. 41 times 6 is 246. 41 times 7 is 287. 41 times 8 is 328. 41 times 9 is 369. And 41 times 10 is 410. 42's table. 42 times 1 is 42. 42 times 2 is 84. 42 times 3 is 126. 42 times 4 is 168. 42 times 5 is 210. 42 times 6 is 252. 42 times 7 is 294. 42 times 8 is 336. 42 times 9 is 378. And 42 times 10 is 420. 43's table. 43 times 1 is 43. 43 times 2 is 86. 43 times 3 is 129. 43 times 4 is 172. 43 times 5 is 215. 43 times 6 is 258. 43 times 7 is 301. 43 times 8 is 344. 43 times 9 is 387. And 43 times 10 is 430. 44's table. 44 times 1 is 44. 44 times 2 is 88. 44 times 3 is 132. 44 times 4 is 176. 44 times 5 is 220. 44 times 6 is 264. 44 times 7 is 308. 44 times 8 is 352. 44 times 9 is 396. And 44 times 10 is 440. 45's table. 45 times 1 is 45. 45 times 2 is 90. 45 times 3 is 135. 45 times 4 is 180. 45 times 5 is 225. 45 times 6 is 270. 45 times 7 is 315. 45 times 8 is 360. 45 times 9 is 405. And 45 times 10 is 450. 46 table. 46 times 1 is 46. 46 times 2 is 92. 46 times 3 is 138. 46 times 4 is 184. 46 times 5 is 230. 46 times 6 is 276. 46 times 7 is 322. 46 times 8 is 368. 46 times 9 is 414. And 46 times 10 is 460. 47's table. 47 times 1 is 47. 47 times 2 is 94. 47 times 3 is 141. 47 times 4 is 188. 47 times 5 is 235. 47 times 6 is 282. 47 times 7 is 329. 47 times 8 is 376. 47 times 9 is 423. And 47 times 10 is 470. 48's table. 48 times 1 is 48. 48 times 2 is 96. 48 times 3 is 144. 48 times 4 is 192. 48 times 5 is 240. 48 times 6 is 288. 48 times 7 is 336. 48 times 8 is 384. 48 times 9 is 432. And 48 times 10 is 480. 49 stable. 49 times 1 is 49. 49 times 2 is 98. 49 times 3 is 147. 49 times 4 is 196. 49 times 5 is 245. 49 times 6 is 294. 49 times 7 is 343. 49 times 8 is 392. 49 times 9 is 441. And 49 times 10 is 490. 50's table. 50 times 1 is 50. 50 times 2 is 100. 50 times 3 is 150. 50 times 4 is 200. 50 times 5 is 250. 50 times 6 is 300. 50 times 7 is 350. 50 times 8 is 400. 50 times 9 is 450. And 50 times 10 is 500.